but do hang with me for now. Looking at number 8 on worksheet 1, find an angle in degrees, correct the 4 decimal places. So in degrees, that's sort of your reminder to make sure your calculator is in degrees. And then if the sine is 2/7, that's the easy one. How do I go backwards to tell my calculator to find an angle whose sine is 2/7? What's the calculator buttons to do that? Yeah, inverse sine. So second sine. Second sine. That means find me an angle whose sine is 2/7. So if you're looking for an angle, it's always going to be an inverse. 4 decimals. It's a little extreme, but 16.6015. All right, part B, tangent equals 8/5, so inverse tangent, second tangent of 8/5 is 57.9946. C is pretty easy, but let's look at D. Secant, because there's not a secant button. So how do I handle part D? Flip it. So flip 15 over 4 and get 4 over 15. What happens when I flip secant?
Just go back to cosine.
It goes to cosine. Secant and cosine are reciprocals. So I'll flip both sides, and it's obvious and easy to flip a fraction. Flipping secant to cosine is a little bit weird, maybe, but that's why we have to know who the reciprocal partners are. So then it's second cosine, inverse cosine of 4/15. $74.5340. This is one of those places where you might catch a mistake if you did something wrong. If you did the inverse cosine of 15 over 4, it would give you an error. And so maybe that would trigger you to think, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? And maybe you could figure out what happened. How about E? What would we do for E? Because I don't have a cotangent button.
Just do inverse tangent
Of?
7 over 12.
Yes. Inverse tangent, or second tangent, 7/12, 30.2564. And then the same thing with cosecant, except it's partners with sine, so inverse sine of 1 over 1.5. Again, good practice on remembering who the partners are.